If, like me, you are struggling with lockdown and wondering what you can do with your time, hit the internet and look up some fascinating facts about where you live. I'm Emma Hesketh and I work at Blackburn with Darwen Library as part of the Equality and Access team and manager of home deliveries. I've been looking up fascinating facts about Blackburn, and here I have 10 to share with you. Fascinating fact number 1. Did you know that hidden at the back of Railway Road, between the Adelphi pub and the Lancashire Telegraph, lies the ancient All Hallows Spring? This is believed to have been the site of a Roman temple, and was then a place of medieval pilgrimage and healing. It led to a nearby Anglo-Saxon church nearby being recorded in 598 AD, which became the parish church and then the cathedral. Who knew? Fascinating fact number 2. There will be many of you who are big fans of Blackburn Rovers and doubtless missing the football season at this time of year. But did you know that football clubs' distinctive blue and white quartered shirt are not a result of the town's famous cotton checks, but a result of the club being formed by a group of public school boys in 1875? The two boys who called the inaugural meeting were Shrewsbury Old Boys. Others attending were from Queggs in Blackburn and Malvern College, whose quartered shirts were adopted by the new club, though with Cambridge blue in place of the Malvern green. Fascinating fact number 3. If you look at the picture here, it shows opera singer Kathleen Ferrier, brought up on Linwood Road in Blackburn, after her father, William, was appointed head teacher of St James's Primary School. She was described at the time of her death, cancer, aged 41, as the second most famous woman in the world after the Queen. I wonder how many of our listeners and viewers perhaps saw her or are familiar with her singing history. Fascinating fact 4. Darwen Street in Blackburn is the oldest place of settlement in the town. Made a conservation area in 1994, it is Blackburn's earliest historic centre and includes the course of a Roman road that historically ran northward between Manchester and Ribchester. Fascinating fact 5. The King's Head was the oldest pub in Blackburn. On the corner of King Street and Freckleton Street, the historic Grade 2 listed building, which was built in 1765, was ravaged by a fire in 2003, very sadly. Now it's an office building. The deeds to the King's Head show it was bought by alekeeper John Ainsworth in 1777, and then by the Thwaites Brewery in 1853. The firm finally sold it in 1996. Bit of brewing heritage there for you. Fascinating fact number 6. The Queen Victoria statue on the boulevard, which most of us are familiar with, was erected in 1905 and was originally planned for Corporation Park. James Hargreaves, founder of a prominent Blackburn wholesale tobacconists and confectioners, raised the cash for the statue commemorating Britain's longest reigning monarch by public subscription after her death in 1901. Proposals to move the white Sicilian marble sculpture by Australian Sir Bertram McKennell to the Cathedral Quarter development were dropped last year. Fascinating fact number 7 is around the grave of Alice Beetham, who was murdered on the 20th of May 1912. Her grave is not marked. The 18-year-old had split up with her boyfriend, the 22-year-old Arthur Burkett. They both worked at Jubilee Mill. He cut her throat with a razor whilst in a frenzy of rage and then tried to kill himself. His mother, sister and neighbours from Riley Street came out on the day of his execution to sing "Abide With Me." Arthur Burkett was hanged at Strangeways Jail for the murder of his girlfriend Alice Beetham at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, 23rd of July, 1912. Fascinating fact number 8. In 1826, Blackburn was at the centre of an anti-powerloom Luddite riot when a mob arrived in the town after attacking powerlooms in Accrington. If you look at the photo showed with this slide, you can see some images depicting the event. Proceeding to Bannister Eccles Jubilee factory on Jubilee Street, the mob destroyed 212 powerlooms in the space of only 35 minutes. They then turned their attention to John Horton and Sons Park Place factory, which was located nearby, and destroyed another 25 looms before seeking more machinery to attack. Troops were called to quell the rioting. Textile manufacturing in Blackburn dates from the mid-13th century, when wool produced by local farmers was woven in their homes. Flemish weavers who settled in the area in the 14th century are said to have developed the industry. Fascinating fact number 9. We think we have trouble these days with general elections, but have you heard about the general election of 1868? On the 16th of March 1869, the results of the 68 general election in the borough of Blackburn were declared null and void after allegations of intimidation of voters and bribing them with ale. There was no secret ballot until 1872, so voting was conducted in public at the hustings at Blakey Moor and attended by large numbers of police armed with cutlasses. A show of hands was taken and pronounced to be in favour of Fielden and Hornby, but a vote was demanded on behalf of the Liberal candidates. After the result was declared at 7 p.m, stones were thrown at Conservative supporters in Penny Street. A policeman was shot in the arm, other shots were fired from windows, and there was serious fighting for a few minutes until 60 policemen came to guard the approaches to the street. Fascinating fact number 10. Whitton Country Park at 480 acres is one of the largest urban open spaces in the country. The land was purchased by the municipal authorities in 1946 and was the ancestral home of the Fielden family. It is larger than all the town's other parks and playing fields put together. With a full-size athletic track, currently being redeveloped, it is home to the Blackburn Harriers, which produced 3 competitors in the London 2012 Olympics: hammer thrower Sophie Hitchen, pole vaulter Holly Bleasdale, and modern pentathlon silver medalist Sam Murray.